welcome back to the 1% podcast. We're here with a different setup, but the most beautiful guest once again. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Brandon. How are you? Long time no speak.
I know, right? It's only been this morning.
The second time we've recorded together after a few weeks ago, since we were both in prep, and I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to just my boring self, so it might be appearing a few times in this prep.
Yeah, you will. It's fine. How are you feeling?
I feel good today. Today's rest day. Prep's going well. We had a good drop this last week, about 2.5 kilos, which is insane. But I haven't dropped for about, I'd say 6 weeks now, which is a very long time. So it was very frustrating. I always trust the process, so I knew it would eventually drop, but I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried because I've never had 6 weeks of no drops. But I think the whole time pretty much my body was just, holding some cortisol, holding some stress. So I was holding a lot of fluid. And then once I just got on top of my cortisol and just had a week of backing off a little bit last week, everything just dropped really well. So it's going great. Just got to keep up that consistency from here on and keep that cortisol nice and low.
Yeah, I think like you said, we said it in the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I think it is generally a recomp phase. Like I generally think that for because it's 8 weeks now, roughly 8 weeks. We're just under 12 weeks out now. So I think honestly, the biggest thing is just that recomp. I think that's it, because you actually did get leaner. It's just the weight wasn't representing the look. And it's probably just the first time that it's really happened that extreme maybe for you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then vice versa, we know that fatigue management is very important this stage, because we've definitely both you've dropped 2.5 kilos, 2 kilos, vice versa. We've both had big drops in the last week and we fucking feel them. Like when you get those drops, you're like, oof, you feel it sort of thing. The energy starts to drop, but it's the compounding effect of 8 weeks of cardio, almost every day, steps, meals. It's like savings account. It takes a while to build up and then it hits and you're at that hit. I always think 12 weeks is that point where you're kind of nothing really changes the beginning part of prep, and then you're 12 weeks, you're oh, it's fucking close, and then your body just starts changing, and then we'll probably see changes every week at this point.
Yeah, I agree. As I always say to everyone, weight's not our only measure of progress, etc. And sometimes you just need to be patient and wait for it to drop. And there's probably 4 or 5 main key areas that people should be focusing on for a prep. Some of them people neglect a lot. Everyone is athletes are very good at their training. They're pretty good at their nutrition, but they suck at their fatigue management and their sleep. So they're also just as important. So I think I was probably just missing those last two, to be quite honest. But now, getting into the depths of prep, making sure we're ticking all the boxes. Yeah.
I think like you say, with the fatigue management, it's mentally very hard for an athlete to that's what you need to do, but mentally it's very hard to comprehend that rest equals result. It's the same. Clients say it to us all the time, can I do more? Can I push harder? I'm like, no, just run with this momentum. Because the best thing I've ever learned working with Cam and things like that has been fatigue management. And it's knowing to pull, to push. It is knowing to actually do less. But when you're doing the training, the nutrition, it's not just in my opinion, it's not about ticking the boxes, it's about ticking them, but with fucking intent. Because it's very easy to do your cardio for 30 minutes, but okay, is your heart rate being pushed? Vice versa, is your meal timings on the money, or you just eating? Do you know what I mean? It's about the accuracy and the intent of them. So when the accuracy and intent there is of training and nutrition, then actually let that do a lot of the work, and then you can pull back and let the body use it, respond to it, and almost we always use that thing marinate. So when you let meat marinate for a day and hours, it tastes better, it looks better. It's the same with the body. That's the way that I kind of see it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that 100%. And training's a big one, right? You can go into the gym and you can just get your sessions done, or you can actually push and
fucking hammer it.
Yeah, and actually squeeze the shit out of the muscles, and that doesn't mean that, it's not about how much weight you lift in the gym. It's not about how how strong you are. It's about what are you getting out of each rep? What are you, like your tempo, contraction, using the right muscle rather than, you know, using too much weight and then letting your whole entire body take over the exercise rather than isolating it where we want.
Yeah.
AKA glutes.
Yeah. But that's it. Cause I remember when I like first fancied you and watching you in the gym, I remember you used to load up like a barbell hip thrust and used to put like 150 kilos on there. Probably sometimes more. There was a lot of fucking weight on there anyway. And like, probably if you look back then, I think it's very important to do that type of training because it gets you strong. It's very important. But the longer you do this, it's funny because I was definitely stronger 5 years ago, 3 years ago, but how you move weight now is very different. And it's like, yeah, cool. You can use a hip thrust and you can load 160 kilos on the bar. But like how much of that is just the glute contraction, vice versa, instead of like almost just driving your fucking hips up to the roof and just swinging it up. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the thing you learn as over years of any form of athlete and any skill in life, you kind of get better at fine tuning your craft in a sense. And you learn your body, you learn like you're very body aware, vice versa. Like we get massage treatment every week. We kind of know what areas we need working on, vice versa. When we're pulling, we kind of know what area of the lat that it's exactly working, how it's feeling and things like that. So I think it's just an experience thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because if we're using like a hip thrust analogy, it's like, are you just moving the weight or are you using your glutes to move the weight? They're two very different outcomes. And the first one, like, you know, you could be using your lower back, you could be using your hamstrings to move the weight more so than your glutes, or are you actually putting the mind to muscle connection in your glutes and driving through your glutes to get the weight up? And you would probably be better off pulling back the weight and to actually be able to use your glutes rather than going too heavy, whereas, you know, you're going to use everything else with it, your lower back, your hamstrings, etc. And as you all know, as bodybuilders, we're trying to build and dissect different parts of our body. We're trying to target, not just pick up the weight.
Well, that's it. It's bodybuilding, isn't it? It's about sculpting a physique. So it doesn't matter how... It doesn't, in a sense, it doesn't matter how you move it, as long as you, like, everyone's anatomy is very different. So it's how you move it that's going to get the most out of your muscle, the most engagement. Like you said, like getting the most stretch, the squeeze out of it is the biggest thing. In a sense, we just want to traumatize this like tiny little thing. And then we just want to do that to everything in this small and sculpt the body. It's very different to like other sports where it'd be like powerlifting, because it doesn't matter how. You just need to be strong. You just move that weight from A to B. It doesn't matter. But ours is that kind of, it's almost more of an art. And I guess you kind of see those memes, don't you, where people sculpt, like there was, what's that, fat sculpture, and they chisel away at it sort of thing. And there's left like this amazing physique underneath. It's kind of the same sort of thing. So no, yeah, that's it. I know you want to dive into some different topics and stuff like that, but anything else we want to touch on in prep and things like that? Like,
not really.
I feel like, I think that's the best way. Everyone's going like, how's prep? And like, you good? I'm like, same shit. I think that's the thing, is just like what people don't see is like, as much as you kind of want to make this interesting, it's not. It's very much like anything in life that you want to be good at and see a good result about. We just do the same shit every day. Same meals, same time. So as much as you like, I don't know, you post something on Instagram, it's the same shit every day. It's the monotonous, is that the word? Monotonous? Yeah. Just routine, rep, consistency. Like you said, you put up a post this morning. Just be consistent. It's the most desirable thing that everyone wants. You can't buy it. You just have to earn it and do it. So it's not fancy. Like we're just doing the same shit.
Yeah. Like even, for example, what we're eating, how we train. Prep doesn't differ from off season if you're doing it right. If you're in the sport for the right reasons and you have the lifestyle, like you truly live the lifestyle of like bodybuilding, etc. Nothing changes from off season to prep. The only thing that changes is, yeah, we've got some cardio prescribed in there. We've got a little bit more steps, but I'm literally eating the same thing as I was in off season, just smaller portions. And I've just got to stay on top of my fatigue management a little bit more, you know, making sure I'm not busting my ass working right up till 10 o'clock at night. It's like, no, I need to switch off at 8:30 to make sure sympathetic nervous system comes down, parasympathetic kicks in, so I can go have a nice restful sleep. Because as we said before, that all those things definitely add up and compound over time. So just get good at being consistent, and then a little bit of cardio there, a little bit of steps there. Gonna get hungry. That's about it.
Just suck it up. I think a good question for you is that, like, everyone wants to know, like, a common thing is, how can I be more consistent?
Show up when you're tired. Show up when you've had a bad day. Show up when you've had a bad week.
What sort of, I guess, is there a sort of, like, is there something you could say, like, try this to be more consistent? Is there anything like that? It's a really hard thing to answer for someone's like myself and you. Like, it's like saying, like, how can I be more disciplined? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but is there anything you can give someone to be like, how do I become more consistent? Like, one thing they could do in their day, every day, to start to build and learn what consistency is and how to do it.
Well, definitely routine. I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
But I feel with people that aren't consistent, it's not what they're, I feel like it's more so things that they overcomplicate themselves, that they, like, for example, like excuses. Excuses are a big one. If things pop up in life, then they're like, oh, I can't do X, Y, and Z anymore. It's just like, no, you actually can. I think, it comes down to resilience, right? Like, consistency is just showing up and ticking the boxes. Like, it's up to you. Is it a priority or not? Because if you aren't being consistent with something, if you're not ticking the boxes, then cool, it's not a priority to you. And like what you hear all the time, it's just like, if someone says to you, okay, that's fine, it's not a priority to you, if that hurts, then it's facts, right? Like, that's the thing. That's at the end of the day. Like, we could be in Europe like everyone else on holidays at the moment, but no, we commit and we keep showing up every day, and that's what's going to get to us to our end goal, not going on trips here and there and doing XYZ random things. It's just commit, be consistent.
I think the biggest thing, like when you say, well, I fully agree. I think the biggest thing when it's like a consistent thing is people just aren't willing to sacrifice a short-term thing. Like, to learn to be consistent isn't actually that hard. So like, if someone goes, oh, like, how can I be more consistent? My thing would be like, can you wake up 15 minutes earlier? Like, to the average person, like, wake up 15 minutes earlier, consistently do that for 8 to 12 weeks. Then straight away, you've proved that you can be consistent at something, and you prove that you can have a routine, in effect, and have a habit. That's literally it. And then you can obviously then compound that with other things and other things over weeks and months to come. But the problem is that no one wants people do it for a week. Everyone wants that short-term gratification now. And that we live in a world that's sold that. Hey, earn a 6-figure business in fucking 24 minutes. You're like, no, it doesn't fucking work like that. Hey, get this physique. You just take gear. I'm like, it still doesn't work like that. And again, vice versa. We talked about it last time. Dating, just swipe and you'll get the hottest woman in the world. I'm like, nothing works like that. No one wants to commit for literally the minimum of 12 weeks. And I always like, I think we both agree with this. I'm like, if you commit to something, for vice versa, we'll show you our before images, 20 weeks versus day before we get on stage. 20 weeks is not long. What is that? 4 months? 5 months? 5 months.
Yeah, it kind of is long, but it's not.
But it's not. But it's not, because women are happily be pregnant for 9 months. Do you know what I mean? They know they're going to be pregnant for 9 months. It's not long. That's what it's not fucking long. People go to university and fuck up for 3 years and just fucking, but they'll go to university for 3 years. If you truly want to change, if you truly want a better income, if you want a better physique, if you want a better career, giving 5 months up to something is not long.
Yeah, I agree. But again, how bad do you want it? Is it a priority to you?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly that. So yeah, that's it. That's my rant. So it's cool.
Yeah,
no, it's good.
Yeah, first and foremost, like, if you're new to fitness industry, whatever, because, I'm a comp prep coach, but like, I do have a lot of lifestyle clients as well, when people just from scratch had never trained before, etc., and then they want to do a competition, and the thing that's going to make and break you is just like your habits, right? What do your daily habits look like?
Yeah.
If you're, everyone's motivated in the beginning when they have a new program. It's very easy to go into the gym. Yes, I trained 5 days this week. I'm so good. Followed my diet. Yeah, great. Are you doing it a month later though?
Yeah.
Most people will probably just get one session in a month later, right? Start small, build up the habits, like focus on what's important, and then, you build and build and build and build. And yeah, before you know it, it's perhaps easy. The only hard about it is you're hungry and a bit tired more.
Yeah, and even then, like, especially when you've done it a lot longer than I have. But it's just it's part of the process. Do you know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, I know I'm gonna be fucking tired and things like that. I know there's more body fat to come off, but you I don't know, like. I have a lot of things like vice versa. I know, obviously, because we've had this conversation from a relationship standpoint that we want to achieve in our lives, and I just I've got too much shit to do. Do you know what I mean? I've got shit to achieve. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck about if I'm hungry. Like, the food can wait. Like, the food's not going anywhere. Like, everything's not disappearing tomorrow. So I'm like we said, like, oh yeah, we could have gone traveling this summer and we could have done all this sort of stuff, but we're doing a prep together. We're bringing the best that we've ever brought. We're doing a bit of a Euro tour. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna bring in great packages. We're growing our business at this time. And then I'm like, then we can fucking take some downtime. Like we said, next year we're gonna travel a lot more. We're gonna have a really productive off season. We're gonna tour. But all of next year to fucking eat sushi and all this shit. You know what I mean? So who gives a shit about the next? We're only 11 weeks now. You know what I mean? So we've got 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks of this and we're done.
And bodybuilding isn't forever either. I think everyone forgets that when they're in it. They think, oh, all I'm doing is dieting, or when their friends are dieting and stuff, they're always dieting, etc. But, I'm probably going to be doing this the next 3-4 years max, and then I've got the rest of my life to eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's just food.
That's the thing. And I listen to a lot of podcasts now. I think maybe it's just a prep thing. I just listen to a lot. And it's so funny when you hear people that, obviously I listen to like the bodybuilding podcasts and stuff. When you hear them talk about like, I'm never going to be at that level. That's cool. But I enjoy this sport, right? But when you hear them talk about being retired and stuff like that, like every piece of advice someone like retired gives you, or like if you ask an old person, they always say just fucking be in it. Enjoy it, because like you said, it doesn't last forever. And a prime one's like the Olympics at the moment, right? As well. Like you've got these athletes training for 4 years, 8 years. Like we watched the documentary on the gymnast. What's her name? Simone
Biles?
Yeah. And I didn't know how fucking young they were. And she's like old and she's 28 and she's like getting close to being like she's done. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, that's a short-lived career in a sense, from probably, I know it's 12 to 28, but I'm like, doing something that you're still learning like yourself, like you're not even developed in that stages. And then you're supposed to have a successful career and then leave it in that time period. That's mind-blowing.
Yeah. My favorite time is still when in the years competing internationally, chasing for that pro card. Like chasing the pro card is all well and good. We all want that, but just be present along the way, enjoy it, appreciate it, be in the shows, be at the shows, like the crazy productions, etc. Like go experience from that point of view, go see the world. That's 100% the best thing I've done with bodybuilding, and that I continue to do from both a coach standpoint and a athlete standpoint. Like this sport, you can go anywhere in the world, even as an amateur. Why the hell not? Like what other sport can let you compete internationally as an amateur? Literally anyone can go and do it. But yeah, like who cares? People don't think you're good enough to go on an international stage. Just do it for you. Enjoy it. Bring the build that resilience as you get along in your career, etc. Because that's the best part of bodybuilding, is it teaches you a lot, and teaches you a lot of life skills.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing that I'm learning this prep is, obviously I've never prepped with someone or done it with someone, and I know how, I don't want to say an asshole, but I can be very like cold with my mind, with my attitude. And it's learning obviously how to support someone else in their prep as well as best you can, sort of thing. Because obviously it's me and you are both very independent in that sense. Like we'll just crack on with our own shit. But also it's just being aware that there's an individual that's going through the same things, that's probably having the same thoughts of you, even if you're not, knowing what you're thinking, like you say, like that self-doubt, like when you look in the mirror and things like that. Like it's very normal. I think it'd be silly to say like, as a pro, you still have self-doubt, you still question yourself and stuff like that. It's very normal. Everyone does. Everyone has body dysmorphia and all this sort of shit, right? But it's just learning to be in the other person's shoes as well and to take their heart into consideration, and vice versa. That makes me a better man. It makes me a better coach as well. So I think this prep's it's a different learning experience as well for me, for sure, in that sense.
Yeah. I think also just don't take things personally. If you're quiet or if you're, you're not being chirpy.
No,
then I know you're tired, you're dieting, you're on prep. It's not you.
No.
So with me, we said that this week that we're starting to feel a bit.
There's a lot less conversations that go on in the house.
I guess like when you get so deep into prep, what I know I do is I get very focused, very like my days are very structured, and like there's purpose to everything that I do. So like if there's something that's like, I guess like an inconvenience or something, then I would be a bit like, because everything else is like so dialed into a T that like it's frustrating because it's out of your control kind of thing. So
just come in the car with us and you can see. Get the fuck out of the way.
Driving in Dubai. Oh my God, guys. It's fingers crossed I don't have a car accident this season.
No, I fucking hope not.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, we'll be all right. No, we'll be all right. But yeah, it's that's it. We're just at that point now where it's just the fatigue's kicking a little bit more. We just have to be very mindful of that. That's all. Like we said, like probably like last Sunday was pretty good. We literally just had a pajama day at home. Like we didn't move. I think there's probably going to be quite a few of those adding up slowly. But I enjoy it, so it's all good.
Yeah. Let's talk about goal setting, because I had a question. Someone wanting to know personally what my 1 year and 5 year goal is. I can answer that very quickly, but I think it's a good topic with talking about goal setting in bodybuilding, in life in general as well, because as you mentioned, bodybuilding's not forever. And when people are in bodybuilding, especially, being quite new, it's quite easy for a lot of people to go, I'm going to go for my pro card. I'm going to win my pro card, which is all well and good, but like you're not going to get the best out of yourself as an athlete if you're just focused on that, right? If you're not enjoying the process, if you're not breaking down the goal into smaller goals, you're never going to achieve the big one, right? For example, it could be like getting a top 3 placing in juniors, getting a top 3 placing in opens, and then going over to an international show, placing top 3, etc. And then you're kind of worthy to go after a pro card. And then same thing, like when you go into the pro ranks, like, okay, get second call, aim for second call out, whatever, aim for first call out, aim for a top 5 placing in maybe a lower tier show, and then aim for a top 5 placing in a higher tier show before, being like, I'm going straight to Olympia, because it's being a pro essentially the same as being in the amateur ranks, right? Like in the amateur ranks, you're going for the pro card. In the pro ranks, you're going for the Olympic qualification. So same thing, but new people into amateurs wants a pro card. New people into pro cards want the Olympia, which, of course, that's the end goal. But break it down. Don't take your time as such. Like, make sure you're putting in the work, but like enjoy the journey, enjoy the progression, and forget the outside noise as well, right? Yeah. Because like I know myself, I'm like, cool. Like I'm not going. People always go, oh yeah, Olympia next, and I'm like, not aiming for that. Like, yeah, eventually, cool, but that's like probably not my radar at the moment. Probably in a couple of years, but I'm willing to do the work, and that's the end goal. But I guess, what's your goal with bodybuilding? Say, for example, 2 years versus 5 years and beyond, past bodybuilding.
If we keep it, I guess, like physique related, I guess bodybuilding. I think it's the maybe I'm not gonna say I don't believe in myself, but I'm very aware of how good the world is now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people that are like 22 years old and they're freaks, and do you know what I mean? So I think it's being very aware of where are you at. Also, as a male, how far are you willing to push things from an anabolic standpoint as well? And obviously you have to do this all with health in check, right? If health's everything perfect. So for me, I think with bodybuilding, like, I would want to be a professional athlete again. I know what it's like to be a professional athlete, so I would want to be a pro again. So definitely this time round is obviously to see the improvements of what 18 months can do. Kind of get feedback, and I think then probably in another 2 years hunt down to be a pro. So obviously 2 years on top of this, so maybe another 18 months of growing, and then prep again for the stage in 25, end of 26, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so something along those. That's when I'd like to be like, okay, I've built potentially a pro-worthy physique, and that's when I'd hunt after it. But then also I know that to be honest, I'd be pretty happy at kind of that level and fucking just jumping in a couple of big pro shows and just trying it and things like that. But also it depends on where it goes. Like, I'll put the work in, obviously. But yeah, I guess that's it, to be honest. Like, do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I think but I guess outside of that, the process of self-development, physique development, I want myself as a brand to grow. And I want to build an audience, build content along the way, documenting my life and things like that. To obviously then, vice versa, have a very successful worldwide online business, which it's really growing and I'm proud of it right now. And then using that income that I've built over 10 years of coaching. And then obviously we spoke about this, investing it into a product line of some form, and it's like even things like a coffee shop, and do you know what I mean? All these different things past bodybuilding as well. But to turn around and be like, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? I'm like, it's a really hard thing. Like, I like this trajectory, but I'm like, honestly, like, we know that life can get throwing curveballs at us. So yeah, there's a nice outcome. I'd like to have a family. I'd like to have a family home. Do you know what I mean? And obviously have kids and stuff like that in probably 5 years. But like, that's kind of it. There's a vision, but there's a lot that's going to go on in between.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think it's important to have goalposts of what you'd like to achieve in your life and maybe rough time frames. But yeah, absolutely, things are always going to change. Like, for example, before I was an online coach, I wanted to be an online coach, and then it actually ended up being earlier than I expected. But COVID happened, so I did it a year earlier than I planned to, and then it blew up quite fast, like all those little things, right? And then vice versa, like things getting pushed back. I don't think I'd be competing past 30 years old. I'm 30 now. I'm 31 in 2 weeks, sadly. But I thought that at 30 years old, I'll be done and hanging up my shoes and still continuing as a coach, but not being a competitor myself. Whereas now I'm like, actually, I'm happy to compete until I'm like 35. And
I've got another 5 years left.
Yeah. Yeah. Reasons being for that, of course, like, I haven't achieved the end result that I want to, which is I'd like to make I'd love to get on the Olympia stage. But yeah, COVID happened, life things happened in the mix as well these last few years. But in terms of what my goals are, it's not just being an athlete. I think how me as an athlete, I don't see it as the purpose isn't just me as an athlete. I feel like the purpose is me as an athlete is to be a better coach, the best coach.
Yeah.
I actually kind of use myself as like trial and error. It sounds really crazy, but like nice. I do different things to see how it goes, and I kind of use it as like evidence and I guess like trial and error on myself, right, before I put it into my own clients, etc. But to be the greatest coach, like I've done it for 10 years already. I'll continue doing it. But I would like to get to the Olympia stage, and then the future is to be one of the greatest female comp coaches for bikini. My coach in particular, like, I don't ever look up to people. I don't really have idols, whatever. But I guess my own coach, Jamie, guess how she's, built her own business with Fit Body Fusion. She's a very successful coach herself. She's been to the Olympia. She's got a lot of coaches under her, and that's what I would like to achieve. It probably won't be on the same scale as her, of course, because I'm Australian, and of course, if you don't live in America, it's a lot less opportunity for that. let's say that.
I think. Sorry to interrupt you. I think as well, it's a very different generation as well. Like she came up and she was probably one of very few. Do you know what I mean? And then now you have how many very good bikini girls that are very good coaches and very good businesswomen as well. It's a very different world as well. I'm not saying I'm never going to sit here and don't fucking strive for that, because there's no reason why you can't. Like you said about goals. I never thought I'd be sat here. I never thought I'd be coaching online. It was like a thing. I never thought I'd live in Dubai. I never thought I'd be in 11 weeks' time going back to Spain competing. And I never thought any of this sort of stuff. So I don't want to ever set... When we talk about goals, I'm like, well, I've done this, so maybe I can. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I fucking can do these things that I think. And it's that typical thing. If you don't think it and if you don't actually believe in it, and not believe in it, but maybe just dream it and manifest it, then it might... Do you know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those goalposts. Like I don't have, like what we said, they're always moving, right? So like, and of course, like I'm going to do it in my own way that I want to. But I'm also see this as a longevity thing, right? Yeah. Like I've already been in this industry for 10 years. So, and looking at Jamie, same thing, right? She was an athlete herself for a long time. She went to Olympia and then she stopped being an athlete herself. And then she continued to be a really great coach and grew herself over years and years and years. She's been in this forever. Whereas like, that's what I want from this. I see it as longevity. I don't see it as like, I don't see when, like I'm all about my clients, etc. Like the competitors, right? I'm all about the competitors. I've been a competitor myself for 10 years. So I also want the best experience for other competitors as well. So like when, you know, like, yes, I have my own business and I've got business aspirations, but it's a bit of a selfish, personal kind of...
No, not at all. Not, you have to be in doing anything. Like, it's kind of like we said about said earlier about short-term gratifications. Like, the shit that we're doing now isn't for us even getting on stage this year. It's not even about that. It's about the year after and the year after that. It's about the things that we, like you say, when you're... It's the same. I would, like you said about you like testing yourself, 100%. I'm never going to tell someone to go and do this like hack squat and like put your ass into your heels with 4 plates and 5 plates and then drive up if I didn't know how it feels. So it's very important as an athlete, as a coach rather, and as an individual to know what that discomfort is, to know what that feels like in order to prescribe it to someone else.
Yeah. And being a coach, right? What's the main thing about being a coach is experiencing what works, experiencing what doesn't work. You learn more from mistakes and the things that don't work than the things that do work. So, so I guess like that's what I do myself, right? Like, yes, I want to build the best physique, but then like, oh, what about this? What about that? Does this work? Does that not work? Cool. Nope. Okay. And and experience is a big one. I don't feel like there's many females that have been in the sport for a very long time that have that experience behind them as well, or just coaches in general. True. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get a great coach if they haven't been a competitor themselves. But like I think that's a big game changer. Just having that experience and understanding and the passion as well. Because I know my passion is very different because like my passion is very different from other coaches because I'm still a competitor. Right. So like, yeah, I'll get quite fiery if I don't believe in something. Hence like this week, one of the other federations in Australia, I found out that the person that owns the federation is also a comp-rep coach. Not going to go into detail with that, but like that annoys me, right? Because as a competitor, that's not fair. It's not fair on the competitors. And like, yeah, I'll quite stand for what I believe in.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you say about experience and stuff like that, like experience is honestly, I think it's one of the most important traits because there's all science written out there, but some things when it comes to training, nutrition and all this sort of stuff, right? Like even when it comes outside the sports and things like that, like it could be like fucking Elon Musk sending like spaceships to Mars and stuff like that. Yeah, there's science, but there's a lot of things, especially in bodybuilding and sport and fitness and things like that, that we have great science, but it can't explain why some things work and that others don't. For example, like we know that calories for a certain day is what truly matters, a protein, right? That's kind of the most important number. So why is it that everyone eats 4, 5, and 6 meals instead of 1 or 2? Like the science is the same, but there's a reason why all the top athletes eat 4 to 6 meals per day. Not just 2 pre and post workout with 1,000 calories each side for 2,000 target. It's broken up into chunks. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, we know this from like, but the truth is I fucking hate this industry now that it's become too many opinions, too scientific to an extent, where I'm like, actually, like, you just need to be in the trenches and learn it and do it. Because sometimes there's things that I would say, like, I'd have to learn, like, I understand, like, I need to learn why it works, but sometimes I can't explain it. I'm like, it just works, all right? Just do it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it's kind of like how long is a piece of string, right? Like,
yeah.
how deep do you want to get into it? But like, I have a background in science. I started my exercise science degree, and then I went into competing, right? So I've got that, I've got that science foundation. I've got that knowledge. But like, you'll never see me sit here and just cite friggin' like studies and this study says that. Like, it's just a stupid way to, and a waste of time to try and like. It's just people fighting on the internet. It's stupid. Like, it either works or it doesn't, right? And one thing that really shits me off as well sometimes is like calories in, calories versus like it's calories in, calories out kind of thing. It's just like, well, there's actually a bit more detail into that. If you look into females, it's like, well, difference. It makes it a whole different ball game. If someone's got PCOS. What type of PCOS do they have? Most of the time, the person doesn't even know. The client doesn't even know. So it's like, so you've been eating towards a PCOS kind of approach this whole time, but there's like 4 different types. Anyway, but yeah, there's more things that come into it, right? Yeah. Like, but then again, it's just like how long is a piece of string?
Yeah.
And it's when it comes down, I think experience and knowledge, experience comes down is a big part about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a really good quote. This is the last thing I'll finish on experience, but I agree. I'm going to butcher the quote, but it's like a sergeant took an army in and won 1,000 wars. So he's won 1,000 wars. He's took an army and won 1,000 wars. The other sergeants read thousands of books on how to win a war. Who would you hire to take you to war? The person that's won all the wars, not the person that's learned how to win 1,000 wars.
Yep, I agree. When I used to work in sleep science, I remember, this is when I was an amateur athlete, worked in sleep science for about 5 years, but I was obviously bodybuilding at the time. And I remember having, I had a staff member, so I worked in like operations management and sleep science and training, whatever. And I had this staff member that was still studying. She ended up studying a master's degree because she couldn't get a job in the field of like dietetics that she wanted. And yeah, like he used to grind my gears. I'd been like, oh, I'm studying masters in dietetics. You can't do this, can't do that. And it's just like, yeah, you're still over, like, not to judge anyone, but it's just like if you're telling me that you need to do all these things, but like you're still overweight, it's obviously not working and you haven't helped anyone. You're trying to put me down because I don't have a dietetics degree, but apparently I don't know what I'm doing.
But it's exactly that. It's like I won't say, I won't drop names, but I know someone that is a nutritionist and they're fat. Like, not just fat, big fat. So you're like, how can anyone take nutrition advice off someone that is very, very overweight? I'm sorry, you can know all the minerals and vitamins off the top of your head, know exactly what they do. But I'm like, if you're overweight, you are consuming unhealthy amounts of food for yourself. And you're putting yourself at health. Like, I'm done with the conversation.
Yeah. Before we end on this topic, because I feel like this is a negative topic and I feel really guilty for saying these things, but
no, it's all right.
had a consult call with someone that I had seen around for a while, kind of thing, and they had a degree in nutrition psychology or something, but something to do with psychology around eating and food, etc. And yeah, and this person struggled for a very long time with their weight. They'll like not just obese, extremely obese, and they were themselves, like you could tell they weren't in a very good kind of psychological state. So it's like, yeah, like you can do all these degrees, you can read all the books, and you know, like we do so many consults for lifestyle people, and one thing people always say is like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go read up on it more or something. Not ready to get your help just yet, but I'm going to go read some books and learn. Okay. Like, trust me, it's not going to help. But anyway, but yeah, you can go get all the degrees. You can, you know, waste your money on those degrees, read all the books. You're not going to get anywhere. Action. But yeah.
No, it's good. What was the other? I know you had another question as well, or like another topic. We'll just fucking go straight.
Did we finish about goals? I don't think we finished about goals. Yeah, I guess just to briefly quick up.
I can't remember where we were.
Yeah, like, you know, I think being a comp prep coach is I care more about being a comp prep coach than an athlete.
Yeah.
Myself. It sounds crazy to say that and to probably hear that, but like, you know, being a coach, and I'm all for my athletes and the longevity of my team and building it, and becoming a great coach is more important than me being the best athlete and, you know, winning the Olympia stage, etc.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like when you're an athlete like yourself, and the athlete thing is kind of the cherry on the cake to everything. It's kind of the branding, and it helps with the business, of course, and it's what you love. It's your own focus. Like, you love building the business, but you need your own focus as well to drive towards something else. But they align. It kind of grows you an athlete. It grows you as a coach and things like that. You gain experience, which we just fucking talked about for about 10 minutes.
Exactly, experience getting on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, well, that's the thing as well. It's being like, if anyone, like you said, well, cool, when you're prepping a bunch of girls, first timers, and you've been on the Olympia stage, it's like, I was you. And I've worked my up over a decade to get there. So I know exactly the steps. I know how it feels. I've cried to myself for months. Do you know what I mean? I know how to get there.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, I want the hardest possible way to get there as well.
I
don't want to just win a small show or Australian show and get my quick ticket to the Olympia. Like, I want to learn everything on the way. I want to know all the avenues and how hard it is to get there and what it takes to get there. Because then it's the experience, not the...
No, it's the hard lessons in life that teach you everything.
Yeah.
No one ever gets strong and achieves greatness from the easy route. It's always the hard, the shit days, the shit months, the struggles that shape you as an individual.
Adversity.
So always choose hard. I literally put in my team's group chat that the other day, like training, I was just like, just do hard stuff today. Do stuff every day that's hard, because you'll grow.
And tell yourself, I can do hard things.
Yeah.
Right? If you're having a hard day, having one of those prep days and you're tired and you're like, I'm struggling, just tell yourself, I can do hard things. Yeah. Right? Your body follows your mind. So if you keep this nice and strong, then everything will be a breeze.
Everything's easy, yeah. No, that's cool. No, I love it. It is nice to be with someone that... I think it's nice that you're with someone and your kind of futures and goals align. Obviously, they might change. I might be there next week, but like, fucking done with the shit. Do you know what I mean? But it is very nice to be with someone where our paths are in the same direction, sort of thing, which is nice. And they will go skew-if and things like that, 100%. But there's still that kind of dream outcome, whatever the fuck that is, right? But like, we have a vision for ourselves when we're 40 years old. Do you know what I mean? What's
our vision?
Oh, here we go.
It's very completely different from bodybuilding.
No, I think like we've had this conversation, right? We know, like, I think it's very different from a female aspect versus a male. Like, if I decide to keep going or whatever it is, and it's very different. Like, I can probably, the longevity of this, I don't want to say I can do it longer, but obviously, like, as a female, you got to have kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to have kids, do you know what I mean? There's a point, and I know you said that you probably don't want to compete once you've had kids. You're kind of like, that's it. You want to be a parent and move into that next chapter of your life at that stage. But you said to me, like, if you want to keep going, keep going. Do you know what I mean as well? Like, you said that to me. So it's very different. But again, do I want to do this for like going into my late 30s? No, not at all. So it's like, I definitely think like 35, 36 and things like that. If things don't change before that, then our businesses have built very good by that point. We've still got another kind of 5, 6, 7 years of building those businesses and things like that, whilst building an athlete. And then we, like you said, we're going to do a little business together and stuff like that, and definitely leave Dubai and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I think we have the same direction. What is at 40? I don't know. Kid's probably about 5 years old at that point, maybe, or 4 years old, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, the kind of goalposts plans at the moment, I suppose, is Dubai's not forever. I get that question sometimes. They're like, "Oh, you're permanently there now." I'm like, "Well, not really. Like, just because my dog's here now doesn't change anything. I've been here for a few years now." But Dubai wants, until our competing careers are done, until you're done. I don't want to compete after I have kids. I just don't want to. Like, more than like, I will always forever be in the bodybuilding industry, but I don't want to be a competitor. I don't want to be dieting. I don't want to be in preps when I have kids, because I want to be able to not only move on to other business adventures, but I want to be present with my kids, right? I feel like, it's a bit, I feel just myself, like I know there's mums and stuff out there that prep, but myself as a parent, I would feel selfish and not present if I wasn't with them.
Yeah.
I think because I'm such a business person as well, so I can't be a full-on psycho business person and a mum and in comp prep. I think you need to pick two. So
I think as well, like, you get a lot of mums that compete, but they don't do it later on. By that stage, you would have been doing it for 15 years, and you would have been selfish for 15 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But then they're probably not like, running massive businesses, whereas like I want a big business. I want multiple businesses. Like we want to build a product or, something that way. I also want to, be getting like investments into properties and stuff and all that as well. And that's obviously like down the track. But I've been competing for 10 years. I use myself as an athlete to just put myself in the shoes, get the experience.
Yeah, and then use those skills and put them somewhere else.
Move on to the next one. Exactly.
They're good.
Yeah.
At least you're on the right fucking wavelength.
Yeah. So yes, I am dragging Brandon back to Australia with me when it's time to move.
Yeah,
back.
like you say, like, that's it, isn't it? Like, I love it here. It's home. Like I left the UK probably 4 years ago now. So yeah, it's definitely home here and stuff like that. But I do love Australia. It's very nice, and it's a great way of life for when we can utilize Dubai very well for like the next 5, 6 years very well. We can use it for networking. We can use it to build things very well. And then by that point, I'll be very happy I've probably got ants in my pants, and I'll be ready to shuttle back to Oz for sure. So yeah, that's it. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to those changes. Obviously, I'm not looking forward to 5 years' time, but I'm excited. When we talk about it now, it's exciting to talk about the future, which is nice.
I think every chapter is exciting, right? Like, I'm a competitor at the moment. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And the next chapter, like, it's just not getting ahead of ourselves. It's being present in the current time.
Being present.
And you're ready to hang up the heels. You're present with it. You're happy to do that, and you move on to the next stage of your life. But yeah, why do you think you would never move back to the UK? I pretty much know this answer, but
I've been, like I say, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and hearing different things and seeing the world now. It kind of breaks my heart, to be honest, because like America is amazing. UK is amazing. I'm not taking it away from these. They are the most richest places in the world. They are amazing. They have amazing cultures, but the Western world is not in a good place. Maybe in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, it might be, but I don't want to raise a family in the UK. Like, you look at it now and there's like, the people are fucking rioting about what? About race and all this sort of shit. And you're like, I don't want to be a part of that. And like, Australia's weird because it's like, it's modern, but it's because it's away from everything, it doesn't get hit the same. Do you know what I mean? Like the Gold Coast is kind of like, it is kind of like Dubai. It's like its own mini bubble, and it's nice. Like I will feel safe to let kids run outside and fucking go. But in a lot of the UK, unless you're like really in countryside, no. Do you know what I mean? And I don't agree with, not that Australia's probably any better with educational. I don't like the Western world where it's going.
I agree with that. Australia is a bubble, and then the Gold Coast is another bubble.
Yeah.
So it's like a bubble and a big bubble. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, who knows even what's going to happen in the next 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Like we say, yes, we're moving back to Australia, which, yeah, 100%, I can see us doing that. But like, we could have another pandemic, right? And you know, maybe it collapses or something, like the economy in the Western world. But you can definitely see that the Western world since post-COVID has not been very stable. And living in Dubai, it's like,
it just keeps growing as well.
Yeah.
This place, like it just it looks at everywhere else in the world. Like I think this is why. I don't know. I'm not I'm not going to dive into politics and stuff like that. Like because I don't vote, so I shouldn't have an opinion. But like, why is it the Middle East does so well? They kind of look at the rest of the world and they're like, they're burning down. We're just going to do what you do, the things that are good, but put our own twist onto it. And whether that comes down to the security of the countries, whatever, I don't know. But they just are very good at, I guess there is a government, but it doesn't feel like you live in a controlled government and country. It doesn't feel like that. And it doesn't act like that is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Everything just seems to work, and everything
like, works, and it's weird.
designed to grow. Yeah. Everything's designed to grow at like a rapid rate here. Like even, you know, just physically being here, like you grow as a person so much, your business grows so fast, you know, it's just the environment. Whereas like love Australia as well, obviously, because we want to move back, but like it's a slower pace. Yes, it's safe, but it's a bit of a bubble. It's like a chilled pace of life. Like they're both very different ends of the spectrum. So I guess that's why we live here right now, right? And that's why we plan to move there and settle, because we do, you know, want to settle and have that family life, etc. And that's still, in my opinion, the best place to do it, but not the best place to be growing or being an athlete, of course.
Yeah. So I guess that's, I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah. No, it's just a bit, I don't know, like I could go in a rabbit hole with like it all, but yeah, it's a shame because like the UK bodybuilding scene is phenomenal for such like and it's really coming up in the world and it's amazing. I think honestly, probably from how small it is, probably some of the best gyms on the planet. The fact you're probably like 3 hours away from multiple of the best gyms in the world and things like that. It's amazing when it comes to sport. It's very good, like for such a small island, like even in the Olympics, like cool, like probably the smallest country there. You're sitting third or fourth in the medals. Do you know what I mean? Like the UK is such a powerful, amazing place. But just the direction of it in a lifestyle form.
Yeah, well, I just think about the cold, and that's a no from me.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's true. I don't even think about the weather now, but yeah, so you get to experience it soon when we go, so it's all right. Yeah, but all right, it'll be Christmassy and it'll be fun, so it's fine.
100%. Like, you know, like every country's got their downfalls and the positives. Like I think the culture and bodybuilding culture in America is still the best. I still think Banús is the best gym here.
Yeah.
So very, very grateful for that. But in terms of, like there's more of a culture over there in the US, especially for, probably different for the guys side of things, because there's not very many, you know, bikini pros here. There's not really, you know, many females here as such. There's me and Phoebe. That's the only bikini pros that I know of here.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, of course, like, you know, you can go overseas to the US and all your bikini coaches are there. Your, you know, bikini pros are there. It's more of a.
I guess
there's a lot of shows as well. Of course, there's no shows here, so it makes sense.
But then also, it's a big place. So, like, as much as you're like, if you lived in Texas, like how many people do you actually see at the local gym?
Yeah, but I think Vegas would be a different story. I'll probably go to Vegas because
it depends on where you locate yourself.
Yeah,
depends on where you locate yourself. Yeah, Vegas does seem. I think it's funny. Vegas, so like Nevada, is that in Vegas? Yeah, Nevada, Texas, Florida, seem like the US version of Dubai.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? From like how they're controlled and the environment and things like that, and even like bodybuilding culture, they do very much seem like that. Before it was California, and now California's a bit of a dump.
Yeah. Pre-COVID, I was adamant I was moving to California. I was like, I'm going to train in Gold's Gym every day. And then COVID put an end to that US visa that I was applying for. But here I am in Dubai instead.
COVID killed California, eh?
Yeah. But I think Vegas is like, it was quite even before in terms of like Texas, Florida, Vegas, so all kind of on par. But I think like Vegas is.
I think like you say, because Vegas is kind of like it's condensed. So like Texas is obviously massive, right? So if you're in Houston, you still got to drive X amount to Houston, Austin. Like, do you know what I mean? They're very different and like very spread out. But Vegas is literally just Vegas.
It's just like a bubble kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a tour guide when we go. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've been there 8 times. So.
Yeah. Big tour guide, Cheesecake Factory every night, and we're good.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, like anything else you want to dive into? I'm very chilled. No? Yes?
Not particularly, no. I think we're pretty boring in prep, right? Like we do the same thing every single day. Been vlogging, right? And I'm like, you do the first 2 vlogs, nice and easy. You get to the third one, you're like...
Is this the same as the first one?
This is the same. What do I even do? What do I even change? I'm even more boring now.
Yeah. But I think as well, like when it comes to like producing content and vlogging, I always say that, you know, that Max guy that I always watch, Max Tuning, like his vlogs have been the same for 10 years. All he's done is open up a business in that time. But I think people just enjoy seeing your life and seeing your personality and seeing what you get up to on a day. Because for me, showing a day of eating is pretty boring. It's the same food. Like, do you know what I mean? It'll be really cool. Oh, I got a high day. Here's a full day of eating. Do you know what I mean? But like, people just like to see your routine and how you conduct yourself as, again, like in a relationship and all this sort of stuff. It's like keeping up with the Kardashians, like a super successful TV show.
And yeah, but they've got a lot of drama going on. We don't have...
No, but it's
like anti-drama over here.
Yeah, it is. But also that is obviously, that is their life. But also it is just their life. All you're watching is their life.
Yeah, true.
That's literally it. And it's the same as like when you watch like, what is it, like Big Brother, people just sit in a house. Or like people and things, people just like watching humans. Like the reason people go to coffee shop and to people watch.
Yeah, good point.
So like when you vlog in your day, it's like, it might be boring for you, but actually some people will take a lot of value from it. And it's the same as like any form of content. I think it's really important to post your opinions and your thoughts as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And even if it does, it's up to the individual if it fucking hurts them or not. I'm sorry. Like, this is just how I feel. But it's important to put how you like your life out there and things like that, especially when it comes to a business aspect and a personal brand point of view.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion with vlogging, because I just vlog shit. I'm like, that'll do.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's a check-in picture again. I look a little bit leaner and then feel a little bit more shit.
Yeah. Here's the same meal that I've been eating for breakfast every
But I'll just show you eating it at a different angle.
Yeah, or probably just a little bit smaller. Not as many oats. Less date.
Yeah.
Less nut butter.
We could literally do a whole YouTube on just how to do creamies.
Yes. Yeah. I tell you what though, I've been doing creamies pretty much every single night for this last week. My weight has been dropping like a badass. So
when people ask
creamy is the magic in comp prep.
But that's it. So when people ask for the secret formula, just reply creamy.
Yeah. Ninja creamy, guys. Get one.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? It's a really weird thing, because I was a bit like, ugh, because you got it for your mum. I
bought it for my mum because we were in Australia. I knew I didn't live in Australia, but I really wanted a creamy.
So
I
bought
bought mum a creamy for Christmas, aka for me. And then when I came back to Dubai, I bought one for myself here. But she uses it. I did break it on her actually, but yeah.
Yeah, but you got it fixed, though, didn't you? Oh, you got a replacement. Oh, you got a brand new one.
Well, I basically got it for free. So.
Yeah, you got a brand new one. It is actually really cool. It is very, honestly, like, there's no reason why people can struggle with dieting now. Not when you got all this shit out there. Like, Creamy's mind-blowing. Like, it's just 100, you can make it 130 calories if you wanted to, right? Just whey and almond milk. Or is it a bit more than that?
You could, but
or is it like 200?
One scoop of protein is...
Oh, yeah, 130, 120.
115 to 120, depends on what...
And then the almond milk would be another
brand.
100?
Maybe. It depends on how much you're having.
What's the one we
maybe,
do? Like,
maybe it's 50 calories. But yeah, but you can make it for like 200 calories easy if it's just protein powder and almond milk.
That's pretty much what we do. And then we just add the toppings, right? So like I've just done nut butter. You have frozen berries and some Cocoa Pops.
I have some frozen raspberries and Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
On top of mine.
Yeah.
If I had enough fats, I would be adding in like hazelnut butter.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't have many fats at the moment. Sad times, but that's prep for you. But yeah, it's easy, right? Breakfast is, I might as well tell you my whole diet. Breakfast is oats, berries, protein powder, some nut butter, dates, and then we've got chicken, rice, pineapple pre-workout, chicken, rice, pineapple post-workout, and then veg, protein, carbs. Always mix it up, and then creamy at nighttime. So
yeah,
I eat the same thing in off-season versus prep.
Yeah, same, to be honest. Yeah, all I do is just tweak the portions, things like that. That's literally it. Yeah, and I always said in the first podcast, sushi, date nights, food nights. We are very good foodies, to be fair. You're a very good foodie. I'm becoming a good foodie.
Love my croissants.
Yeah, that is true. That's the nice thing about when you're dating someone. You can go half a croissant, so it never seems so dangerous.
Yeah. Or you just go to our local cafe that we like and they have samples of croissants.
Oh, and they just give it to
on
us.
The top.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but last prep they did.
Yeah, they did actually a couple of times, didn't they? They might still. We still got 11
There was a
weeks.
couple of times I had a few too many and
I do want to try
the
that.
next day and I wasn't
That
very
carrot
happy.
cake looks good though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think my rebound might be a very good rebound. But no, I think we're just at that point with preps and things like that where I feel very, like, I think I said it to you the other morning. I feel quite slow. It's quite nice. I feel quite just really actually with it. It feels it's a nice feeling. It is really nice. Yeah. I love my routine. My routine does keep me sane. Everyone fucking knows that, I think. My routine keeps me mentally in a good place. And yeah, I'm very just chilled. Yeah. Body looks good.
Pajamas on Sundays.
Yeah. That is nice. Yeah. We do need to, this Saturday, I think we should go do that tennis thing or something. That glow in the dark tennis or something. We should do something like that.
Yeah. Anywho, I think we could talk forever, but I think it's time to wrap up. I suppose it's been quite a little while, but anything that you would like to end on?
No, just subscribe, follow me, love me.
11 and a half weeks ago.
11 and
First
a half
one,
weeks.
Spain. So
Spain, Poland, Romania. Let's get it.
Yeah. So the big 3 to tick off in Europe first, maybe another one afterwards. I'll see how I feel. Well, for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm done.
And then it's a big off season for both of us. Next year is a big behind the scenes, grow the business and travel with my clients next year. I've already got a couple of clients that want to travel overseas. So very excited.
I'm excited to, it'll be nice. Nice to travel, and it'll be nice. Because how long together will we been together by that point? By this year, it'll be
3
years. So yeah, going into next year, 3.5 years. I actually want to go on holiday with you and do some fucking cool shit.
Yeah, we haven't been on holiday together.
We haven't done shit together. Do you know what I mean? I want to go just experience some things with you and just live life sort of thing as well. Like we already said, like, well, cool, we'll have little pushes and pulls and go away for a couple of weeks, live, go away for a week, live, come back, push again.
Yeah. I don't think I could go away on a relaxing holiday.
No, we can't do that. Like our holidays would, if we go away, we still work in the morning, but then we'll go and have fun in the day and stuff. And
that's true.
That's what we do. That like, because we love what we do. I think that's the difference. And what we do is a 24/7 job. Like you can't really take time off to an extent. And also, I just love it. I like getting up and doing some work in the morning. So yeah.
I just love traveling for bodybuilding, to be quite honest, whether it's for me or my clients. I think I enjoy it more with my clients because I'm like, I get to watch a show, get to be behind the scenes. I get to see them experience it because I've done it so many times and I know how good it is, but also know how inexperienced Australian athletes are in terms of like how good productions can be.
Yeah.
And when they see it, they're like, wow, this is so cool. Like the stage looks sick. Anyway, that's my favorite part. Hence why I haven't been on an actual holiday for God knows how long.
But it's true. I actually love it for the same reason. I love going away. Like I've loved the trips to Australia because I obviously love like the bodybuilding shows and the culture and meeting people and stuff like that. But it's nice not having I don't have any pressure of someone being on stage when I've been. Do you know what I mean? So I do actually like going, and I think obviously I get to like do pictures and do some content for you guys and stuff like that, and it's nice, and I really enjoy it. So like I'm looking forward to going to a bunch of the girl shows next year as well, just to be like the third wheel and just chill. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm keen. And IFBB have a natural show in Australia next year too. So
when is that?
Mid-year sometime.
Yeah, okay.
There's no date locked in, but it will be around mid-year. So there'll be a few trips to Australia next year.
We're going to Oz. We're going to go season A.
Yeah, well, pretty much all three of them.
The summer one as well?
Yeah, we'll take it as it comes. But yeah, if the natural show's in the middle of the year, then it would be there for it too. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll take one at a time.
Yeah, wing it. Yeah, exactly. So it's cool. All right. I'm out. I'm good.
All right, guys. Stay tuned. 11.5 weeks out. So we'll see you again. We'll see you again in a few weeks.
Easy.
Cool.
How long did that go for? Did he weigh you down?
But he was telling me.
Oh, was
so
he?
I'm like, it's finishes now.
Yeah, no, it's all good.